I'm hoping that this can help other runners to achieve their goals, especially more mature runners who want to be able to push their limits effectively but safely. Hi everyone, my name's Paul DeVillo. I'm a 50-year-old distance runner from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I've been running for about 9 years now and racing for about 6. I have qualified for the Boston Marathon 7 times now, though I have yet to run that race. I'm currently at the tail end of a training cycle for my 10th marathon, which is going to be the Tobacco Road Marathon in Cary, North Carolina on March 15th, 2020. So I thought this would be a great time to catch everybody up on what I've done to get this far. I'm going to break this video down into 4 sections. One where I talk about the actual running that I've done. The second is going to be about cross training. Then I'm going to do a little talking about my nutrition. And then finally, what could be considered the most important part of this is the motivation behind all of it. This time around, I took on a 12-week training cycle that peaked at about 80 miles per week. That's relatively low mileage for me, but I'm trying to protect my muscles and my ligaments, having come off of an injury from my last training cycle. The vast majority of my runs this time around have been on the treadmill, with just my easy runs taking place on the roads. Each of the 12 weeks breaks down into a 7-day cycle. Mondays for me are easy days. It's usually about a 6-mile run at about 8 minutes per mile. On Tuesdays, I do speed work. It's usually about 10 miles, which consists of either strides run between 10.5 and 11.5 miles per hour, or 5K race intervals, usually run at about 10.3 miles per hour. On Wednesdays, I run a medium long run, which is usually between 13 and 15 miles, run at my aerobic pace, which is about 8.8 miles per hour, or 6:48 pace. Thursdays are another easy recovery day, usually another 6 miles. Fridays for me are usually a second speed day, usually a tempo run of about 10 miles, run between 9.5 and 10 miles per hour, or strides, depending. Saturdays are usually another 8 or 9 mile aerobic run for me, run at 8.8 miles per hour or 6:48 pace. And Sundays for me, just like most distance runners, is my long run day. It's usually between 16 and 22 miles. And one thing that's been consistent for me on this particular training cycle is that I run every single long run as a progression run. I'll usually start out at my aerobic pace, which is 8.8 miles per hour or 6:48 pace, and it builds so that by the time I get to my last 6 to 12 miles, I'm running those at full marathon pace, which for me this time, the intended pace is 9.4 miles per hour, and I think that works out to about a 6:22. My training plan this time also called for 2 tune-up races, which are run on no rest in the middle of the cycle. Though I have signed up for real races before when I had to do tune-up races, this time around I kind of cheaped out and I ran a 10K and a 5K on the treadmill so that I could better gauge my fitness. I ran my treadmill 10K in 37 minutes and 1 second. And 2 weeks later, I ran my treadmill 5K in 17:52. Using these 2 races as indicators for my current fitness, I think my goals for the marathon are pretty realistic. My A goal for the race is to run a 2:49:59. My B goal for this race is to PR, which is anything better than a 2:52:24. And my C goal is just to finish sub 3. I'm a big believer in cross training to get to maximum fitness. For me, that means weight training 3 times a week. Every day literally starts with me rolling out of bed onto the floor and starting my core exercises. In order to hold proper form, run faster, and to avoid future injuries, this will continue to be part of my daily routine. As I said, I lift weights 3 times a week, and it's always on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That gives my body a little rest on the weekends before my long runs. I lift low weights and high reps in order to build endurance and strength without bulking up. It's a total body workout that takes about 45 minutes. As far as nutrition goes, there are 2 aspects of what I'd like to discuss here. Number 1 is what I use when I'm actually running, training. I really enjoy Tailwind starch powder for my long run, and I'll also use Gatorade at the tail end when I really need a sugar kick. Cliff brand strawberry gels are also a favorite of mine. They've got 25 milligrams of caffeine, and I'll pop one of those every 4 or 5 miles during a long run. I find that that's just enough fuel to keep me going without overdoing it. The second thing I want to discuss as far as nutrition goes is just my daily intake of food. I don't have it down to an exact science where I'm careful with every single thing that I eat, but the mainstay of my diet is really a lot of dark leafy greens like kale, spinach, collard greens, a ton of salad. As far as protein goes, it's a whole lot of chicken and fish, And I'll add lean beef to my diet whenever I feel kind of a nagging fatigue that doesn't want to go away after a day or two. On the topic of motivation, I won't lie to you. It feels great to win a master's title or to come in top 10, top 5, or even better at the end of a race. But my main motivation has always been to better myself and to compete with my past times. And at my age, I have to admit that I'm always wondering when the scales are going to tip and I'm not going to be able to keep up with my past performances. So I always like to push myself hard and see what I can get done. One encouraging note that's been said to me by several runners who are far more talented than me is that when you start running at any age, you've really got a window of about 10 years where you're going to continue to improve no matter your age. And I've personally found that the mental training side of distance running is at least equal to the physical training side in getting the results that you want. For me anyway, getting comfortable and even inviting the pain that comes with racing is a big part of gaining the success that you want. I find that there's a big difference between what your mind will tell you is your limit and what your physical body is capable of. I'd really like to get all your thoughts on this as well and hear about your experiences. So please do leave a comment below. And if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.